honestly didn't know this was gonna happen, but before I had a lot to say and I forgot some. And so I'm mostly gonna say congratulations in the video. That might be weird, but I hope we could visit you sometime, anytime, and just congratulations.
I'll always be grateful for what God has done in my life and the person that He's made me into. But now I'm more so focused on the person that I am becoming. Through the influence of the people around me, the influence of my boundaries, old and new, and more so the influence of the Spirit. However, a common misconception among the people that see me is that I'm always in a state of bliss.
Because I am very tired. Yes. I don't even look like myself. I think because my face is dry. I don't know. Very exhausted in the things. I think we got everything here. What am I going to do now? It's in these moments here where I kind of at a crossroads of sorts. So where you know it's time to move forward. You don't necessarily know how. Or you do, you just don't want to. Maybe you do want to. It's hard. And then you think you got there and you didn't get there. And then you have this repeated cycle. That's kind of what happens, or what's happened to me. I haven't really given my stuff to God, so it kind of seems like a repetitive thing. I tried to, but I didn't really give the time to actually speak clearly to Him. So, yeah. It looks like I got hit by a freaking truck, man. Gosh. That's okay. We like getting hit by trucks. Because I'm gonna cut that part out. But it's in these moments where you should have the most grace on yourself. And you realize how much grace has already been given to you. It's in the moments where you have nothing to do, but you realize that you are really only kept by grace. In the moments that you know what to do and don't do it, and you're still here. Just by grace. The grace is not for us to abuse it. The grace is not for us to abuse it, but to try again. Just like that. So, I don't know, man. We'll see how this year goes, man. I don't know how it's gonna go, man. I got so much to do. I'm gonna stop recording now. I just need y'all to see I needed you guys to see the rawness of it. Because I don't know what I'm doing. It's just like past 4 minutes. Okay. Let us give thanks to God. All right.
I usually spend a lot of time reflecting on the things that I've been delivered from in my life. But that also means that I spend a lot of time dwelling on the things that I still might need to fix. Even though I'm aware of my standing with Christ and the words that He's spoken over my life, the thought of those things can still be tempting, even what once was. But clearly at this point of life, there was really not much going through my brain. But now, I see how the fruits of the Spirit have made me and molded me into a better man for myself, and more so for the people that I share life with. But I can't always say that those thoughts don't manifest themselves. I will say that now I do have peace. I can gladly say that because there was a point in time where I didn't even know how I could attain peace. Or I thought peace was something more like a feeling or an achievement, when rather I'm just peaceful for being, existing. And I don't think I've ever felt that way. And I've been going strong for 2 years now, so that's some deep stuff right there. But of course, there is still a lot to learn from and a lot to grow in. But for me, it's like a very odd case of imposter syndrome. Like, I didn't really strive or deserve anything that I actually have as of now. But lately, I had to remind myself that's sort of the point of grace.
In these very short but wisdom-filled years I've lived on this earth, I've learned a lot firsthand about integrity, or at least the lack thereof. Unfortunately, a lot of that came from the church. The sad thing is that it shouldn't have, but if you look at my culture now, that is, well, a lot of what you see, unfortunately. And this does not apply to every church. There are still pastors,
It's apostello. It's where we get the word
teachers,
apostles from.
And a friend is one who
song
lays
artists,
down their lives for another.
and even fathers.
But I want to tell you this because
They understand the church consists of people. And if the focus is no longer Christ, then we start to lose the plot.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do this within like 6 minutes because we don't have time. I'm sort of seeing a problem within the church, or churches within some churches. Today I'm mostly gonna speak about some black churches and some Congolese churches. In my very unique area, or at least niche, I was able to attend both at a certain time in life. And sometimes, man, it's just not, it's not delivering well. I'm also gonna start with the Congolese churches because this is no shade to those who are actually true and good and sound. But this is more of a message to those who implement too much culture. The thing is, once you add too much culture, it becomes more about you. Whether that is in a community scale or a self scale, either way, it has become more about you. So instead of this being a church as to where all can come, and a church is a people to be, or at least it should be a people to be and not just a place you go to, But as soon as you make it that way, it becomes more of like a fan club. And I guess I can also be speaking about black churches, because now I'm realizing that there's a similarity between the two. Between the two. I'm speaking of some churches, not every church. The problem with that is that once it becomes a fan club, it is indirectly or directly, sometimes exclusive. Nowhere near inclusive, actually. Because for those who actually want to seek help, for some reason, they know not to come to you, because they know what you're going to do if they go over there. We have literally held up what we think is good and what we don't like so high up that we forgot about the compassion that God has bestowed in us. So it's more so about what you think is true rather than the compassion. You see the difference? Compassion extends a hand, but your fan club raises the bar too high. And if I'm not mistaken, the Pharisees did the same thing. They made it more about a fan club. Even when people started to believe in the words that Jesus was saying, they began to use their knowledge, or at least their knowledge, as reasoning as to why they don't believe, because these people have been fooled. We know what's true. Y'all don't. But the thing is, if you really think about it, they never actually did a great job in teaching the people. They were more so focused on their rank, or rank among the people. They're more so focused on fame, money, power, to appear as something good rather than actually being something good. And in fact, that's been a reoccurring thing. People taking the belief in Christ and weaponizing it for fame and power. I mean, are we not already aware of some? You have the conquistadors, you have the stories of the Inquisition, you even have the Pharisees again, and then you even have the churches now. Some churches now, it just becomes more of about getting blessings and prosperity and all that stuff. So on a grander scale and on a smaller scale, we're making it too much about ourselves. Because whether or not you see it or someone else does, when you make it more about yourself, automatically Christ is booted out. And if Christ is booted out, everything that Christ says he is also booted out. You understand that? Because the Pharisees became cold-hearted men. They became men who could not even realize that what Jesus was saying was true. The conquistadors became more focused on the 3 G's, God, gold, and glory. But if you remove the God part, they still definitely have something to fight for. Gold and glory. But when we make it so much about ourselves, we risk doing harm to those that we are actually called to heal. I'm not saying that you should be a blank slate, but I'm saying stop letting what you think or what you're accustomed to stop you from actually carrying out what God is telling you to do. And this should also more so shed light on those who actually do have the Spirit of God. Because when you make it more of a cultural thing, just something I grew up in and believe it's true, you miss out the relationship with God aspect. Because it is about Christ in us, in our hearts. But if Christ is not in your heart, most of the words that I'm saying might not even affect you. But it's for those who have the Spirit, who understand what I'm saying. And if you're being convicted of this, great. Awesome. But yeah, it more so does shed light on which church actually does have the Spirit of God, and the other churches that just made it more about, oh, we just, yeah, that's just what we do. It's very dangerous when you don't have a basis of belief. I'm not saying that you have to be a theologian, but I'm saying at least a testimony or something of what God has done in your life. Or at least the Spirit entering your heart, you becoming a better person, you being more compassionate, you receiving and extending grace. Why do we have to keep going in in these circles for what? I've seen the damage firsthand of what these churches can do to people and why some people don't come back, especially at some African churches. Even those around me claiming that they would never enter an African church again. Why do you think that? There was something that they needed, healing through Christ. But because it was more so about you, you couldn't see, and you reduced it down to a fan club that more so exalts you rather than Christ. And once you do that, you lose sight. You lose sight of everything. But hey, I'm just a guy. Just a Congolese boy. I don't know what I'm talking about. But let's just, come on, y'all. Prioritize relationship with God rather than your fan club.